It's a House of Orange post-game show. Tennessee will have to do it tomorrow. Tennessee loses to Evansville 10-8 today in a game where there's going to be a lot to discuss on this one. So, before we get in this one, make sure you like it. You share it out there. Let's get it out there. Let's get this thing fired up. I'm going to be honest. We might see a little outlaw action in here today. For numerous reasons. A little amped up right now. This is kind of the thing when you go to a post-game show, especially a post-game with so much on the line, that emotions can run a little high, and that could go both ways on it, good and bad. And I'm not sure the emotions are running good. I will definitely have a next day tomorrow's where I have some more logical thoughts than I'm going to have right now on it. But let's get into this thing. 10-8, Tennessee. Let's just go good, bad, and ugly, and then we'll get into it. The first inning, 3-0, 3 home runs. Blake Burke, Dylan Dreiling, Hunter Ensley, 3-0. Drew Beam, first 3 innings, great. Come out, he was executing. I've noticed with Drew Beam, that's a bad omen, though. That's a bad omen with him. He is normally a guy who your best you see out of Drew Beam is maybe if they get to him a little bit early, he pitches around it, and then he gets better as the game has gone along. That's not been the case with him recently. It's been the opposite. He's come out. He's come out really good, but then he's fallen off as it's gone along. That was good. The 9th inning, we had some good. We had some guys battled. We had some guys took some good at bats. We had, I thought it was big earlier on. Dylan Dreiling still second earlier on, eliminated the double play, end up scoring on a Kavaris Tears base hit. The bad. Let's get into the bad. There was much more of that today. 11 runners left on base. Leadoff man. Your conference player of the year, the ones that people are saying, why is he not getting all these awards and stuff? Christian Moore DH today. Let's don't DH him again. Let's put him out in the field. If he can't even move, let's don't put him out in the field. All right? I will take a Christian Moore out in the field that can't freaking move over Brad Keylori. And I get why they did it, But here's the thing of it. We've seen guys like Amick Moore DH. It's a different mindset. And, when you're in the field, you're constantly into the game. When you're not in the field, you're DHing. You're over here dicking around with guys in the dugout and stuff or whatnot, and you're not as into the game. And whatever they need to do tomorrow, let's put Christian Moore back in the field. And I'll be honest, I did not think after that first inning our guys saw the ball well. And hats off to Evan. Let me first give this hats off to Evansville. Hats off to Evansville. They got down. That was about as bad of a start if you're Evansville as you could get. 3 home runs in the first inning. They pulled their starter in the second inning. Hats off, man. Hats off. Their bullpen come in and got the job done. And held Tennessee to 1 run when they had bases loaded or what have you. And that was some big time pitching for them, for their bullpen, because every guy who come in had inflated ERAs. Tennessee couldn't do anything with it. They tried to in the 9th, but I will say this. Christian Moore had a bad day, but you know what? He's carried this team a lot more than he hasn't. And it just wasn't his day today. It happens sometimes. We'll see. It's going to bring out a lot of feelings going into tomorrow. And I can promise you this, there will be no tailgate. There will be no pregame tomorrow. I'm going to take a little blame, too. I've not done a pregame the whole year. I do a pregame when they lose. And I said it in the pregame. They were in freaking gray uniforms. They're 500 on the year in them freaking gray uniforms. Do not break those damn things out another day this year. The black uniforms, tomorrow, either break out the cream uniforms or the pinstripe. That's your best records with them. I'm superstitious, all right? A lot of baseball people are superstitious. Look at your uniform record. Somebody said in the pregame this morning, who cares about them? I do. I'm not wearing the uniform I lose the most in. I would have broken out black today. All right. Is that the reason they lost? No, absolutely not. But my superstition kicks in on that. So don't take that serious. I still would not have worn gray, though. But still, yet, the uglies, pitching. Our pitching was awful today. After the third inning, the pitchers were awful. Absolutely awful. Beam after the third inning. They left him in too long. I have two uglies. I have two uglies. A lot of you may disagree with me. One of the next one could be bad. It could be in the bad section opposed to the ugly. But our pitching was awful. Pitching was awful. Beam, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk, 82 pitches. His ERA on the season, 4.68. For that to be your staff ace, that's unacceptable. That's not it. There's a reason he's not the Friday night guy. They love Drew Beam. I love him. I'm not piling on him here, but he went too far today. He went too long. They didn't pull him. And this is going to bring me my second part, and I'm going to come back to the ugly. Tony Vitello got out-coached today. He got out-coached. Brad Keylori should never be in the lineup. Never. He got a hit. I'll give him credit, but they couldn't get him in. And, he didn't cost them the game, but he couldn't get a bunt down in the first inning that would have gotten a guy possibly over to possibly move over. I have a problem with that. And then you strike out, and then he had the audacity to stand there like he was shocked that he struck out. But I don't know. I'll say the bad. I thought the coaching staff, I don't know. Sometimes maybe your decisions just don't work. And, they went to their main guys. None of them had it. Cannell, I thought that's questionable in that one to go to him. And he didn't get the job done because, Evansville started getting to him a little bit yesterday with things. And then they went to him. The one batter he faced hit him. Pitch selection. I don't know if this is where they were lining up, but I'll use Cal McInnes for Evansville, for example. He's killed Tennessee pitching for 2 days, up and in. Where does Tennessee throw him today? Up and in. I don't know if it was missed pitches. I don't know. There's part of me thinks Snead missed up and in to him on the one that gave Evansville the lead, and they threw him out trying to extend it to 2. Because it looked to me like Cal Stark was set up outside. Snead was awful. Snead was terrible today. Let's make no bones about it. Snead 1 inning, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no strikeout. He was awful today. Cannell, no innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run. He got the loss, actually, fair or unfair. Banky, 1 1/3, a hit, 1 earned run, which was a little unfair that he only got 1 earned run. It should have been more, but, it was charged to Snead. He come in and grooves one right to their main guy. Our guys, I don't know. Thank God we don't play again at 11 tomorrow. Whatever you want to say. Did everybody get a little cocky with it? Sure, I did too. But I also said this is a good enough hitting team. But I really thought with Evansville's pitchers, with those ERAs we saw, that was right up Tennessee's alley. After, I don't know, man. They got up and just kind of got lethargic, I think. But in a game like this, it's one of those you going instantly live. It's hard to process a lot of thoughts on. It's really kind of hard to sit back and process where things went wrong. But let's look at 11 left on base. Let's start there. We've all said it. At some point, that's going to come back to get them. 1 through 4 today, left on 9 runners. And Brad Keylori left on 2. All right, there you go. So, yeah, a guy like Lori, no business in the lineup. I'm just going to be point blank honest about it. I want him to do well. Christian Moore left 3 at the end on. Blake Burke left a couple. Amick a couple. Dreiling a couple. Amick did not come through. He was 1 for 5, but he did not come through really any point big today, I didn't think. Dreiling had the home run. Dreiling, I don't know what happened on the one. If he was just, I don't know if he's just not, I don't know. I really thought on the one where he hit the second and the guy booted it, he would beat that out easily. He was out. He was out on that one. I thought it was the correct call. I didn't initially, but when I saw the replay, he was out. Let me get in some comments here. We got 55 of you in here. And we'll be doing this again tomorrow. Hopefully, better circumstances tomorrow. 55 of us. Again, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. There is that super chat option in here. I'd like to get that amped up a little bit. Super chats go to help the channel. They're always appreciated in here as well. So first comment in here, I'm going to go through as many as possible. I'm so sick of being not ever pitching past the fifth inning consistently, lose it around the fourth or fifth inning. He has this year. He has not had his best stuff, especially here recently. He's kind of the opposite where he was last year. He was at his best this time last year. Right now, he is not pitching well. And he's starting out well, but he's not finishing. They've got to have, I think, a quicker hook with him based on what we're not. But I don't know. That's who we're saying is our main guy. They're trusting in him. They're trusting in Snead. They trusted in Snead too long today. He did not have it. But what do you do on a day like today where Beam doesn't have it past the third inning? Cannell didn't have it past an inning yesterday. Cannell didn't have it in his one batter today. Snead did not have it from the get-go today. Banky come in. I mean, his first batter was not good. I thought he was decent after that. I mean, J.J. Garcia come in and did pretty well. Hats off to him for coming in and really making that reachable, that they got it to 10-8 in the last inning. But I don't know what you do because, you don't want to use – I don't think you want to waste Aaron Combs. Tomorrow's going to be an Aaron Combs type game if we get what we need out of Xander Sechrist and then whoever's in between that. Hopefully – you could get 6 out of Xander tomorrow. That would be huge. If you could do that, you can turn it over to Aaron Combs to kind of end that thing. I know we expect a lot out of this team. But this team, let me start. I know we expect a lot, but this time of year, the best player on the team cannot go 0 for 4. If we lose tomorrow, I'm never buying into a Tennessee team, sports team against the BVS talking, but I can't. I get it. I totally get it. I still say this is, and again, it's nothing against Evansville. They're a veteran team. They can hit it. They're a dangerous lineup. Our pitchers were terrible today. They were terrible. Let's not mince words. They were freaking awful today. And there was some veteran guys in it too. Snead, of course, is not. But, I mean, Beam, I think we expect better. Cannell is what he is, guys. He is what he is. He's a great Vol. Love him to death. He is inconsistent, though. He's an inconsistent pitcher. Let's just call it like it is. He was coming in to do one job today, and he didn't do it. And that inning that they got back, it went forever that they couldn't get out of it. But, I mean, yeah, if this team craps the bed tomorrow, it's going to be hard to buy in again. I get it. Totally get it. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. Boosted 931, pitching cost Tennessee. Yeah, it's hard to argue. Even though they left 11 on base, I have a problem with the offense today. Don't get me wrong, but that pitching was bad today. 13 hits, 10 runs, all earned, 9 strikeouts, only 1 walk, but and 1 hit by pitch. But they gave up 3 home runs, 2 doubles. A lot of missed spots. Against a lineup like Evansville, you cannot miss your spots, in which they were. And again, it infuriates me with Cal McInnes. Great hitter. He's done it for 2 days against Tennessee, and we continue to throw him up and in. Whether it's a missed pitch or don't throw a freaking curveball to him. Not inside. Not even miss it outside, whatever. But he's killing the off-speed inside. Don't get it. Let's see. There's no excuse not to be in Omaha tomorrow about 9. I agree, but we're going to see what this team is made of. I don't know if they got complacent, lethargic, or whatever after they got 4-0, but that Evansville team did not quit. And, it took Tennessee a long time to recover. You're bringing in that kind of numbers out of the bullpen against arguably the top offense in the country, and they come in and shut them down. Come in and did their thing. Everybody's always scared of the lefty. We've wore out lefties this week against the righty. It's the junk ball righty that's the ones you don't want to face. And I think with Evansville, they pulled. I'm gonna look at their stats here just now. They pulled a Hansman. He went an inning, 2 walks. I would not be surprised to see him come out and start tomorrow. I mean, we look at these 4 ERAs. I'm not talking about Harris at the end. His 3.77, but Schultz, the starter, 6.46. Meyer, the dude who come in and really shut Tennessee down, 5.44. Hansman, 6.16. Smith, 12.96. Against the top offense in college baseball, you can't do anything with that. Give me a break. Give me a freaking break on it. Got to be better. There's a lot of guys that need to go look in this mirror tonight because you don't take care of business with this. You go get beaten Omaha, so be it. All right. You don't get out of this one. I don't know what I would call the season of disappointment. The ending was. I'm still confident this team will come out and do what it takes tomorrow to win. They've not lost a series since Alabama. I'm going to have confidence, and they have played numerous if series. Granted, there's more on the line this weekend than there was in those SEC series, but it's a team that's been at this point this season as far as having to go to that if game on Sunday. It's at 6 o'clock. I still like Tennessee's chances tomorrow, but let's make no mistake about it. There's going to be nerves tomorrow for sure. Let's see, swinging for the fences, got them beat at the end. I think so. All you have to do is put the damn ball in play. Go the other way. What better pitch for Christian Moore to see at the end? That pitch he pops up. He didn't have it today. He was bad today. And again, I'm not criticizing. I'm just pointing out what it was today. I would still, at any point, like to have him. Do not DH him tomorrow, though. Do not. I know he said he's bothered a little bit. If he can hit and run, he can play the field tomorrow. Get a somebody. I don't care. I don't need to see Reese Chapman again either. We established that last weekend. Give me Peebles tomorrow at DH, and let's freaking roll with it. Another coaching decision. I talked about this earlier. I didn't get fully through it. I'm getting through your comments. A lot of good ones in here. There's no way I'm bringing Cal Stark up to hit with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 9th inning. There's no way. Absolutely no way on it. I don't know if I go Bargo. I'd probably go Bargo in that case. I mean, who else is it? Villeneuve? I mean, Villeneuve would have probably been – I'd have had a hard time not going Bargo. It's a tough situation. I get it. I totally get it. But you could have – if you get that lead, you bring Charlie Taylor in at catcher. That's a pretty easy situation there. But there's just no way I hit Cal Stark in that situation. I know he had a double earlier in the game, but he had looked bad in his last at bat, especially against that type of pitcher who has the good breaking stuff. I mean, Cal looked awful against that dude. Cal can hit left-handed pitching. Not a good decision. I can't really blame him on the pitching. Maybe I think they left Snead in too long, and I really think they left Beam in too long. But what do you do if your guys aren't throwing strikes too? Or, they're either not throwing strikes or, of course, they didn't walk anybody, but they get behind, which led to hanging them. Just a really bad day for the pitching today. Tennessee better wake TF up with the pitching. It was terrible today. Let's make no mistake about it. Let's see. Now we have something to watch tomorrow. I love Tony, but he sometimes waits too long to pull a pitcher. Kirby should never go into a close game. I don't think I would have put him in today. I wouldn't say never. I think that's, but I get it. Hey, I totally get it. I don't think you're off on it, but I would not have put him in after yesterday. He had a good inning, and then they had to bring Combs in to bail him out. What became an uncomfortable game. I would have went Banky. Even though Banky gave up the 1 home run, I thought he was pretty good besides that. I think I would have went Banky earlier, though. That was kind of who I had pegged on it. I can't blame him going to Snead, but, Snead has that capability. If he's not on, he can get hit for sure. Sechrist will definitely start tomorrow. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And hopefully we get the Xander Sechrist we've been seeing for the last month. If we get him, we're in good shape tomorrow. But I don't know how they'll go with that tomorrow, though, because they threw Snead. It's not that Snead was exhausted today by any means with his pitch count, because he threw 28 pitches tomorrow. He'll be good to go tomorrow. I don't know who you come back with. I think it's going to depend on the situation. But Cannell threw 9, so, I mean, he's good to go. Snead 28, Banky 30. I really think your only guys who are not probably good for tomorrow are Beam and Causey. I wish Causey had some in the tank for tomorrow. I don't think that'll be the case. Maybe they surprised me, but I wouldn't think after the amount of pitches he threw yesterday that he's available again tomorrow. Snead will be available. I mean, I don't know. I don't know after today. I mean, his problem was more Snead was location, then he was having to groove it. I really thought that was his problem today. We need Xander Sechrist to be what he has been for the last month, though. If he does that, I think we'll be okay. And we got to find a way to keep this team into the game. Got to lead. I don't know. I'm going to totally has no pitch. I've not seen much all year. I'm not being rude when I say this. All right, I'm really not. I'm going to preface this, but if you're saying they have no pitch and have not all year, you've not been watching them as much. And again, I'm not saying that to be. It's an agree to disagree. All right, so trying to be respectful about that. Their pitching today was not good. Beam, I mean, he's been hit and miss. Snead, for the most part, has been pretty good. Cannell hit and miss, but Banky, I think, has been pretty good. I mean, I get it. I totally get where you're coming from. But they do have pitch. I think their pitch and what they've done with it has been really good. But today it was not good today. And we didn't see Aaron Combs. Aaron Combs is without a doubt the lockdown guy at this point. There is no doubt about it. If there is one guy on this pitching staff, out of everybody, I'm talking starters and relievers, I have to go to, it's Aaron Combs, and I do not think twice about it at this point. But they've been pretty good for the most part. Number 3 nation ERA. That's pretty good. But definitely did not do it today. You cannot let a team like Evans, you can't hang them pitches like it is. You can't be balls and meatballs. And I don't mean that to be, I mean it by literally, you can't just be throwing balls and then grooving pitches to them. If we choke, I swear Tennessee's just cursed and all. Here's the thing about it, man. We go on, so many, I haven't, because I don't buy into it yet. We've seen all this everything school. Here's the thing about the everything school. This everything school, how many national championships have we gotten out of it? None. I don't want to hear everything school. Yeah, all the sports are doing well, and that's great. That's awesome. Really proud of them. Some team on that campus in Knoxville has got to finish it off, though. I'm not giving up on this team. It's first loss in a couple weeks since Vanderbilt back in the SEC tournament. Is it the end of the season? No. Who will play more loose tomorrow? That's going to be the question. I am curious to see how this Tennessee team comes out tomorrow. Do they come out playing not to lose, or do they come out playing loose? If they come out and play not to lose, guys, we're going to be on here complaining tomorrow night. If they come out loose, I think we'll be okay on it. I think we'll be okay. But let's make no mistake about it. We've seen Evansville's not intimidated and they're not scared. And got down 4-0, as bad of a start as possible, and they come back. Hats off to them. All right, hats off to those guys. Yep, Xander Sechrist will start tomorrow for sure. Yep, bad. And you know what? At some point, we got it to where we wanted it to end. There is nobody I'd rather have up than Christian Moore, and I would not trade that situation again. Today was not his day. It's baseball. It happens. I'm putting money on him tomorrow. I would say it's put him back in the field. Again, if he can't even move, I don't care. Whatever. If they don't make it Omaha, it'll be the biggest choke job ever. I think I would make a case that's even worse than the Notre Dame one from 2 years ago if they do not make it. Because just because you're playing a 4 seed, you're playing – and again, it's not They're a 4 seed for a reason. Are they a good team? Yes, but I'm not telling you. I think Evansville's lineup is very good. It's a very good lineup. That pitching staff and those ERAs, this team should be lighting them up. And they didn't do it. They did not do it. They get another chance tomorrow, though. The good thing is it's not the end of the season. Yeah, Ronnie Freeman, I know you're one of them that said it. I agree with you totally on this. At some point, we've talked about it, and I know, Ronnie, you've been one of them. There's been others that have mentioned it. At some point, that double-digit left on base is going to come back to get them. Today was it. Today was it. And the bad thing was, your top of the order. I want to look back at the top of the order today. So I'm looking at, we'll go 1 through 5 on this one. Well, let me go 1 through 4. All right. 1 through 4 today was 3 for 14, 3 RBIs, 6 runs scored, only 1 strikeout, but they left 7 runners on base. Your top of the order cannot do that. They cannot do that. They've got to come through. I mean, Burt come through a couple times. He had the home run to start, and then he had the sac fly. Amick struck out in a huge situation. That strikeout of his was bad. And Amick has got to learn to go the other way. I've seen him do it like one time this year. He's up there swinging for the downs. Too many guys don't know how to take the ball the other way. And, there's teams with that philosophy. I mean, it's like the Atlanta Braves right now. They're in a funk. They're not hitting. And I've seen, some of their writers talk about, people have asked, why don't they, bunt, do this? And Snitker's point blank said, and I know it's not an Atlanta Braves show, but I'm using it for comparison. That's basically not how we're built. We're built to hit home runs. That's how Tennessee's built as well. Your guys who should be able to bunt can't freaking bunt. A Bradkey Laurie, you're hitting 231 coming into this game. I know he hit one off the bottom of the wall out there, and good for him that he did it. But that bunt was a joke that he had. Even if he would have put that bunt down, that first baseman's fielding it and gunning the guy at second easily. It was bunted so hard. Guys like that need to be able to bunt. Cal Stark at the bottom, I mean, he can't bunt. He's maybe gotten a bunt down. I think he did at some point, but here recently he's not being able to get it down. And, for all he does, again, I always say it, he's not in for his bat. At the end, I'm pinch hitting for him. At least Bargo. I would have much rather seen Bargo in than Cal Stark at the end. Who knows? Maybe Bargo goes up and strikes out too. That's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's a tough situation. I get it. I agree with this. Never put Kirby in games on love him, but he hasn't had it. I don't think he has either. I can see, middle with 2 to 3 run lead, but I totally agree. I don't trust him in a 1-run game at this point. I just don't. I totally agree with that one. Frankie A needs shorten Beam's leash. I think so too. Because we've been seeing him get into that 4th inning, and that's where trouble starts to happen. I think they need to recognize that. It's one of those things when a guy's rolling along, you let him roll. But where Beam's been, it's been the opposite of where it was, earlier in the year and before, where he may start off a little rough and then he gets better. He's come out of the gate well, and then he's not good later. I totally agree with that. They had 0 killer instinct today. We're going to see what they got tomorrow. They for a lot of innings, I saw a team that was just going through the motions on it. They remind me of 2022 when they got punched in the mouth. They didn't have an answer for it. And I thought this team was made different. Today, I don't think so. And, whatever happened today, they don't need to do tomorrow. How confident do you feel tomorrow's game Evansville can hit? That's a good question. That's an excellent question. How confident am I? I don't know, man. That's a great question, Caleb. That's a great question. I'm normally not one to let BVS kick in, but I can't help but think 2022 thoughts are coming back to me. Xander Sechrist, we got to have the good Xander Sechrist tomorrow. If we could get 6 out of him, turn it over to Aaron Combs. I like our chances on it. If Sechrist is not on tomorrow, I don't know where you go. Because if he's not on, they're going to have to pull him early. Snead concerned me after today. He concerned me after today. He did not have it. And, maybe he bounces back tomorrow in the situation if given. But you have to exhaust every option there is tomorrow. If there's a reason A.J. Causey is available tomorrow, you get him in when you can. I don't know that he will be. All right. That might be a stretch. But if for some reason he is available, because let's face it, if you can get something out of A.J. Causey tomorrow and you pass him up to go to somebody who doesn't get it done and you could have gone to Causey, you're going home. All right. You got to exhaust all options tomorrow. This is your Major League Baseball playoff environment where you start getting into it. Like back in, how many years you start seeing your main starters coming out of that bullpen who have been off for a day or two. I think if possible, we got to have A.J. Causey available tomorrow. I really do. And hopefully Sechrist is on it. Evansville can hit. If you serve up Evansville meatballs like they did today, they're going to make you pay for it. They're a good hitting team. The thing that surprised me more is that our guys did not see the ball. I don't know if they weren't seeing the ball well or what, but I thought Evansville did get away with some pitches that should have been good to hit. But, it is what it is. This is a good point. Burke missing that grand slam earlier was big. Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, this one come back on us today. Numerous people in here we've talked about. 11 left on base, especially that many from your top of the order is big. I mean, just going through the order today. Let me share the screen. We'll kind of look at a little bit of that together here, and I'll get back into comments. Lots of good comments. Appreciate you guys being in. 72 of you. Man, we just can't get to 100. Maybe we win tomorrow and get to 100. All right, here we go. Moore 0 for 4. 2 walks. So he batted 6 times, left 3 on base today. No runs scored. Burke 1 for 2, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Amick 1 for 5, 1 strikeout. What was it? 4th inning. Amick got bailed out by Curley. It should have been an easy fieldable ball, and he booted it. Curley was able to field it and throw the guy out at first, but that was a circus inning for them. Dreiling dropped the line drive out to left. I mean, it was just the wheels fell off at that point, and they kind of allowed it to keep falling off. I mean, Dreiling 1 for 3, he had 2 walks, no strikeouts for him. I mean, I still can't figure out how he got through out at first. If the guy just recovered that quickly, if Dreiling didn't get out of the box well, it just seemed to me like one he should have beat out, especially after his steal earlier on where the guy didn't even get a throw on it. Inslee 2 for 5, 2 RBI, just missed a grand slam at the end, and it ended up being a single. Pretty unfair. I don't know. That one it didn't call. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered on that, but Tiers 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, 1 double. He had a walk with the bases loaded, which got a run in the ninth. Then he had that base hit, was big. Curley 0 for 2 with an RBI, 2 walks. Lowry 1 for 3. He did have a double. He had a strikeout, which shocked him for some reason after his pitiful bunt attempt. Cal Stark 1 for 4. He had a double, hit it off top of the wall earlier, and then he had 3 strikeouts. Again, there's no absolute way, the way he looked, that he's hitting for me at the end. No way. No way. He looked terrible in his last 3 at-bats. It was not even close. Got to be better than that. Got to be better in that situation because you got Charlie Taylor who can go back and manage the game at catcher. But I'm not putting it on Cal by any means. That's just a situation that Bargo should have been in pinch hitting. There, I trust him a whole lot more than I would Start for sure. And I already talked about the pitching a little bit, so I'll go get back into the comments here again. JL's just coming right out. We'll win tomorrow. Let's go with it. I like it. I like it. HK Money, what's up, man? They don't have any decent pitchers left. That's what I thought today as well, and their pitchers did a pretty good job. So the thing is, with it is with Tennessee and that type of ERA, you got to think if it's closer, go see Shane Harris. My guess is they pulled. Let me find his name again here. That they pulled Hansman, who only went 1 inning and 24 pitches. My guess is we see him to start tomorrow. Could be wrong. I could be wrong because the other guy they talked about could pitch tomorrow was Smith, who ended up going 52 pitches. I just can't see where Evansville does have a lot of pitching left for tomorrow. I'm with you on that one. I think that, the guy yesterday's got to be done. Schultz, 48 today, Meyer, 57, and Smith, 52. So, I mean, I could think you could see Hansman and Harris. But other than that, I can't see it either. That's got to play into Tennessee's hands tomorrow. Got to play into Tennessee hands. JL said the same thing. Got to be low on pitching. Pretty accurate. Kirby can get you several outs, but ends up giving up that costly hit. I can't disagree with that one. Need to score more than 5 to win a game. Well, I mean, they scored 8. I get your point, though, and gave up 10. Can't give up 10 on that. Definitely got worse after Kirby. For sure, Snead was awful. He was awful. I still got to figure out where our shortstop is playing in the field. Any of you guys that have watched in person, I got it because I thought there was a couple balls hit that I'm thinking the shortstop gets, and he's not there. I don't know if they're playing so far in the hole because we don't really see their placement on camera, but it just seems to me like they're playing too far in the hole. And I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Maybe Curley doesn't have the range either. And maybe I'm just totally off, and you got to give credit to Evansville on their hits with it. But I thought there were a couple balls around that 4th, 5th inning that I thought was right to the shortstop in their hits. So I don't know. They definitely, it seemed to me like got comfortable after 4 runs. Totally agree on that one. What's up, Eric Jones? Says, what's up, Andy? It surprised me Tennessee took that L, but I thought our BaseVols would punch their ticket to Omaha, but I was wrong. Didn't play to their best ability. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I think part of it, too, we got to give Evansville credit. Our pitching staff was missing. Evansville made them pay today. When Evansville's pitchers did miss, we didn't make them pay after that 1st inning. That was the big difference with it. That was just a big difference. It's a good point. Make him use their guy at the ends big for tomorrow. If it's close, they will throw him again. Yeah, it will be 3 days in a row because he pitched again yesterday. Cannot agree with you more. That could be a big factor tomorrow. Hopefully, we don't see him in the situation to where he's coming in to close it out. He had pretty good stuff, but I thought that pitch more popped up to end. It was pretty good. More just, I mean, it's baseball. You have those days. Chris Lee, thanks for being back in here. I know you were in here this morning. I don't get why we hit 3 home runs, then went flat. Need to bounce back and get revenge. They did. I thought they did too. Got that lead. It's like once Evansville pulled out their main guy, their main pitcher today, Schultz, his team went flat. Burke got the sack flying. Then this team just went in the tank after that. Again, your 3-guy Amick. Am I wrong thinking Amick's pretty much all or nothing right now? His average is down pretty far on the season. It is down to right now 313, which is, it's definitely good average, decent average. You're talking about a guy that hit 100 points higher last year. It's going to be hard to hit 400 again. Don't get me wrong. But 3, I feel like with Amick, it's almost all or nothing. It's either, doesn't come through or it's a bomb. That's kind of how I feel it's been with him. How was the ump? It was hard to see from being there. I'm curious to see some of your guys' opinions too, because I did think there were questions each way on it. There was definitely some for Tennessee that I thought looked great, but I'm not going to lie, there was some for Evansville. On that Campbell's at bat at the end, I was squirming on it because I thought there were some pretty good pitches that did not get called. But again, our view must just really be off in the strike zone. But I think these umpires has got to be better as far as their calls on the field. I don't like so many replays. I mean, that's like the home run for Evansville. That umpire has got to be better than that. That was a home run. It was easy to see. I can't say it from his view, but it hit the top, it bounced off the metal and come back in. And the fact that they had to, I don't blame Evansville for being upset on that one. I thought it was a no doubter with it. Too many, I guess that's part of instant replay. We review all these close calls and stuff, but and I get it. These bang bang plays are tough. Some of them you get right, some you don't. Home plate ump, though, I really didn't think he was that good. But again, I would be interested to see it from a straight on view. I would be interested to watch it from that view they have behind the plate where we can get an accurate place, because I thought there were some pretty good pitches that didn't get called. But again, I thought it was both ways. I really did. I thought it was both ways for sure. I'm assuming talking about more here. No, play him in the field. Again, I don't care. The old saying, if he's a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, I don't care. Put him out there and let him do what he can at second. All right? So some guys just, it's a different mindset. It's a different mindset. I know it. I get it. I totally get it. So you're more into the game out there than when you're standing around just waiting. And, especially when you're a guy DH and you're in, I don't know. That one changes up, but they still have that on. And speaking of DH, the guy would have been tailor-made. The pity bad decisions. I made a video about this yesterday, or I'm sorry, it was 2 days ago, about Zane Denton hitting the portal, transfers to Austin Peay today. That guy that they wanted back in that situation, him or Amick won his DH, because they had to go out and get a guy when we didn't know he was coming back. You've got either Zane Denton or Billy Amick in that other spot, opposed to what we've seen out of the DH or that 8th spot in the order. And here's a guy who leaves because he basically quit on the team and goes to Austin Peay. You talk about the epitome of terrible decisions. Thank you, Zane Denton, for what you did last year, but my goodness, man. I hope it works out for him, but God, somebody's got to, again, we don't know all that goes on behind the scenes either. D. Hurt, I thought the ump was inconsistent on that one. Yeah, typical on that. Aaron Hyatt, what's up, man? I think after the first, they rest on their laurels. Need to be locked in tomorrow if they want to go to Omaha. They're going to have to bring it for 9 innings. They're going to have to bring it for 9 innings because we've seen it already. You punch Evansville in the mouth, they're not going to go away. They didn't go away yesterday until the end. I mean, it got a little dicey at the end. Evansville's a veteran team. They're going to take a punch. They're going to take a punch. I don't think at any point that you can get with them to the point that you can just assume they're going to lay down for you. They're not. This team has got to be locked in for 9 innings. They got up 4-0, and I really thought they got lethargic. It just looked like they were going through the motions. And that 4th inning, I think that 4th inning too, with just the way things happen in the field and stuff, it was a lack of focus on their part. That's on the players. Situations, what I don't think you could ask for a better situation at the end. You had your best hitter up, guy they're talking about. They don't understand why he's not on the Golden Spikes award list. Got your best guy up with the bases loaded. I don't know. If we had to do it all over again, that's the situation I want again. On a day like today, could you maybe said, yeah, I'd like to see Burke up, possibly. But, over the course of the season, Christian Moore's the guy I want up there. It's just like with the Lady Vols softball at the end when they got beat. Who'd you want up? Kiki Malloy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's somebody else you wanted up, but sometimes you go down with your best. And I'm still going to stick by it. Christian Moore lead off. I love it. Get Christian Moore back in the field tomorrow, though. All right. If he's able to DH and run, he's able to play the field with it. And we'll say Evansville, good team, going to have to play the best ability tomorrow, or they'll get. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. If they don't not come out and bring it if that was not an eye opener today, I don't know what will. If that did not open their eyes, if they're not sitting in that, well, they're probably out of the locker room at this point. But if they didn't go to that locker room a bit disappointed, I don't know what to tell you. That was a very winnable game today, and especially those pitchers need to go look in the mirror today. Except for J.J. Garcia, he come in, did his job. The rest of them, again, I will say, if possible tomorrow, and I don't know that he's available, hopefully you get at least 5. I'll say 5 out of Secrets. If A.J. Causey is available for even an inning, I'll go to him tomorrow. I don't know what the turnaround time is for Omaha. I kind of want to see that. I'm putting the cart before the horse. I don't know if they have. I'm just kind of curious because you obviously have to plan for that a little bit. So it looks like the College World Series would indeed start on Friday. So and I don't even know it's a possibility, so I might be, talking a little crazy on this one, but I do know this. Your season's on the line tomorrow. If anybody is available, you better use it. I'm curious to see if there's been any stuff on Twitter here, if there's been any really curious to see if Vitello has been interviewed any yet. Curious too, Florida State beat Connecticut? I hadn't seen that. Still trying to see. Let's see. All right, here's a couple. I'm curious to see what. All right, let's see. Okay, Tony Vitello agrees with me here. I'm gonna go to. Okay, he got a lot of comments. Okay, here he goes. With Vitello in the middle inning bullpen meltdown. He said nothing really changed. Maybe we could have made some better decisions in those situations. I alluded to this, or I talked about these rubber matches. So Vitello having a lot of rubber matches under this team's belts helps to have those reps, one as many as possible. Tough to replicate those situations in practice. I think that's pretty valid. On Drew being very sharp early on, the biggest thing, you try to get careful with guys and it gets sideways. Can't speak for Drew, but that's what it looked like to me. One thing you cannot do, and a lot of you guys know this, you cannot play to lose. You can't get careful. You either come after it or you don't on here for sure. Evan Counts, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. Evan Counts for $20. Thank you so much for your generosity, Evan. Appreciate that. Always good to see you on here. Thank you. Just drops a $20 bill, and very appreciative of that. Evan's our resident Arkansas fan. He is been around for a few years for sure. Thank you so much, Evan. Appreciate your generosity on that as well. Right now as we're going 75, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Just now, super chats, super thanks. They are available. They do go into the channel to help provide better coverage for the channel, to help branch that out, as we're still really in the infant stages of this channel right now. A lot of good positive feedback throughout the time. So much positive feedback. I'll be honest, and I know it's going to come at some point. I have, honest to goodness, had very little negative feedback on this channel from Tennessee fans. Now, obviously, Kentucky fans, I riled them up over Chaz Lanier quite a bit. Purdue fans were, for whatever reason, riled up because we were pissed about losing to them, which made no sense because they won the game. But other than that, I'm being totally honest. Tennessee fans have been so cool to me on here. And, I've had some with constructive feedback, which I have no problem with. But I've literally had none just come on and get personal or nothing like that. And in the past on other channel, I had some get very, very personal. People I knew was the bad thing about it. Got their feelings hurt over nothing. And it makes you question why you do that sometimes. On this channel, I don't have a problem with it if you come in personal or whatever. Well, I do. We don't have to get we can agree to disagree on stuff. But like I said, I cannot state it enough. And I'm going to toot my own horn on this. The coverage I'm providing on here for baseball. Sometimes things get in the way that there's other things that take precedent over doing the channel, and I'm never going to let those things not take precedent over it. But where this thing's going, where it's at, as far as consisting and what we do, basketball, Lady Vols basketball, which there's literally been nothing out there for me to talk about in weeks now, and baseball. This is the channel as it continues to build with it. A lot of others, they jump on when it's cool to do it, when things are hot. I've been here the whole year, basically the whole season, with it. Going to continue to be the best one for baseball as well. That's not going to change on here. So, this is the place for you out watching other shows. So be it. That's fine. If you want the best, most consistent as far as we're going, and I am getting ready to get into baseball recruiting, which you're not going to find on any other site other than they'll tell something and not follow up on it. That's getting ready to be a staple of this channel. So I hope you'll look forward to that as well. This is really my favorite is baseball for sure. We've had a lot. This basketball stuff is really good on here. The women's basketball, it's going to get there. Football, I've not even scratched the surface with football. There's a lot of other channels that cover football. I'm going to get into it here. It's just baseball is the focus right now with it. Sorry to go on a kind of a tangent there, but for sure, I'm going to toot the horn of this channel right now as it's still in the infant stages. Let me get back to your comments here. Lots of good comments. Lots of you in here. I appreciate you. Let me see where I left off here. I was looking at their Tennessee comments here. They asked Cal Stark. I'm not worried about what Cal Stark says, to be honest. Vitale on the difference in at bats in the ninth compared to the seventh and eighth. Said forcing the pitcher into the strike zone was a big difference. Commanding the strike zone as best as you can. I agree with that. Vitello said Xander Sechrist is good for tomorrow. Talking about the comebacker he had last week. And he said, I also mentioned, I don't think we've gassed anybody out this weekend. And Rocky Top Insider, they assumed in regards to Combs, Snead, Kirby, and Banky. So I'm still really curious if Causey's available tomorrow. I'm curious if anybody asks him on. He may not be. But Vitello on if there was tension in the dugout. Not for us to me both times they've shown up to the ballpark loose. Said they play with a lot of intensity but are mature enough to manage that and stay loose. Vitello, if there's more pressure tomorrow, prevent a loss in another unsuccessful season. That's a bad question. I'd like to know who asks some of these, because it's not an unsuccessful season if they go out tomorrow. Is it a disappointment? Were they in? Yes. As far as an unsuccessful season, no. Not at all. Disappointing ending? Yes. It's been a successful season. It will be, regardless of tomorrow. And, anybody can feel free to disagree with me on that one. Would it be a major letdown? Yes. But, that's a tough. Vitello responded, there's no way it's not a successful season. We don't need to worry about anything other than tomorrow. It's a race to 2 wins. That's all it is. Thank God, Vitello. I said he agrees on. Tony Vitello says Christian Moore will play second base tomorrow 100% the way we go. It's 100% the way he should have went today. Vitello said you're in a 3-round bout. They're going to have to take and give blows. Today they delivered more blows than we did. We're rolling to Sunday 1-1. We'll get after it. Trying to see for anything else. I think that was about it for the comments. I'd be curious to see if there was anything else. I think he pretty much covered all of the things that I wanted to see him cover on that tomorrow. So here's what we know going into tomorrow. Xander Sechrist will be good to go. I'm curious to see who all's available. I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit, but it's kind of going back to the same point. I think most of your pen is good tomorrow. The question for me is, if it comes down to it, do they go Causey with it? Because Causey threw yesterday. Let me go back to yesterday. I was thinking he was close to 90. I mean, that may put him out of it. But you know what? If it's I can damn sure tell you right now, if my season's on the line and I've got to go to Causey, I'm going to him in that situation. because you're not playing next weekend if you don't win tomorrow. Causey threw 82 yesterday. So that may put him out of reach tomorrow, but I'm still, if there is anything I could get out of him and it comes down to it tomorrow, I'm not risking his arm hurting it by any means, but let's see. Let me get on back down here. So I got to those comments. That's a good question, man. Do you think overconfidence is leaked in? A part of me wonders when they got 4-0, how the mindset changed. If they thought, well, we got this thing locked up. They thought, we can cruise to the win. We got Beam rolling right now. We can just keep on cruising. It's a valid question. It is a valid question for sure on there. Papa J, what's up, Papa J? Thanks for coming in. Papa J says, let's whoop some arse tomorrow. I agree. Let's do it. I mean, here's the thing about it. Evansville did the same thing today. You have to put the day before out of your mind. It happened. It's done. What can you do about it? Got to put it out of your mind. Come out tomorrow. It's 1-1. You've been in this situation earlier in the season with rubber matches, and the only one you did not win was against Alabama. You won the rest of them. I like this team's chances to come out tomorrow. Again, I'm not disrespecting Evansville. At some point, though, Evansville's pitching staff and those ballooned up ERAs, it's got to come in to play tomorrow. This Tennessee team hopefully playing later. 6 o'clock game tomorrow. Hopefully playing later is better for them than this 11 o'clock stuff. But it is what it is. Both teams have to do it. Let's see. Let me get back to where we have. There's still plenty of you. I think you got to look for this one, Greg German. I agree. Lloyd tomorrow. I don't have a problem seeing Lloyd. Lloyd's been really good. That could be the situation if Sechrist, gives you some innings, and then you need a guy to bridge it between Sechrist and Combs. Do they do that? I think it depends on how far Sechrist goes. But I mean, I can't sit here and lie to you. After what we've seen the last 2 days, I would have somebody ready at any point. I mean, you don't want to gas anybody, but at the same time, you don't want to gas them in the pen, but you got to have guys ready for it. Tim Dewberry, I totally agree. Give credit to Evansville. They came up clutch hits. Tennessee didn't. It's do or die tomorrow. Bring it or go home. I don't like using the word choke, but winners win, losers lose. Plain as that. Plain and simple as that. Cannot disagree more. This is a team I've complimented on their demeanor, how getting punched in the mouth, and normally they punch back harder. Today was not that, and it happens. All right, it happens. But we're going to see how they answer tomorrow. Do they come out tight and play not to lose, or they come out loose and ready to go to Omaha? I think so. Pitching has to be an issue for them at some point. Some others mentioned that as well. But, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think a lot of people had this one here. Jeanette Anderson, thanks for being in here. Didn't care for the announcers. They sure sound like they're for Evansville. Olsen, man, can go on. I don't need to hear him again. It sucks we got this far and didn't get Peterson or Burke or some of these guys who've called a lot of these games this year. We come in and get Greg Olsen. Him and the other guy. No, I don't like them. I wish we could have gotten Mike Monaco, or I like Tom Hart. I mean, Dave Neal's good too with those combinations we have. But Olsen is. I think he's in the past made it clear he's not a Tennessee guy. I know he didn't like him comments a couple years ago and stuff, but I didn't care much for him. Olsen's actually from Auburn. And so that's funny to me. He would be an LSU homer. Oh, for sure. The whole country, definitely. 4-1. I mean, outside of Tennessee country, I mean, we'd be the same one if Evansville was playing whomever, LSU, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, whomever. We'd all be the same way, pulling for them to win. Let's make no mistake about it. This is a good point. I'm sure they don't have a lot left, but they beat ECU in the same situation. They did, and that was in more games played too. So yeah, so they played what 4 games last. It's same situation with less games played. So it's a very valid point. This is definitely a reminder. You're up 4-0. Doesn't mean 3. Doesn't mean the game's over. Yep. Get your heads out of your asses and keep playing. It's postseason baseball. They're not going to quit. They're a veteran team. They're not. We've seen it 2 days in a row. They've not rolled over and quit at any point. I think with Beam, a lot of you are saying it, and I think it's coming out true lately. Through 3 innings, look at Mississippi State game. He was a little iffy last weekend against Indiana. But, it was his shortest outing of the season. He didn't even get through the 4th. But I think you've got to, based on the track record here recently, if he's rolling in the 3rd, you got to have somebody ready. And it was not the right move who they brought in. Easy for me to say. If Kirby comes in and gets the job done there, we say it's a brilliant move. So, you make decisions based on guys if they don't come in and get the job done. Obviously the coaches get too much credit, too much blame in that situation. Your players at some point have to produce, and they did not. I've seen numerous people say it's like they weren't even trying. I don't know. A part of me thinks that when they got up 4, they rested on it. This is the problem here. And I think it's too many of Tennessee's pitchers. I don't know how many home runs they've given up on the year. But it's not just that big base hit. It's that freaking home run that they give up. Wears out in the 4th or 5th. It's like I said earlier. We talk about Beam being the ace. Beam's got a 4.68 ERA on the year. That's not good. That is not a good ERA. That's approaching 5. That is not good. And his ERA just recently has gone up almost a full run on it because he was below 4. Here in the last month, it has gone up almost a full point. He has not been good. Hopefully he gets another chance at it next week in Omaha. No, playing like they did today will not win a World Series. 11 left on base. Let's hope this was their worst game today. It's baseball. The good thing is you can have that game and still bounce back tomorrow and be all right. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good tomorrow. It's a good question. I think that, I think all bullpen guys who threw today will be good. Combs is good to go. Sechrist will be good to go. Lloyd should be good to go. If they need to go Marcus Phillips, they can go Marcus Phillips. But we know how Marcus Phillips and he's hit and miss. I think there's got to be a little bit of concerns, but most of these guys have done a pretty good job on the season. If you look at their body of work, Cannell's 4.22. His ERA's bounced back and forth. Snead's 3.76. His has gone up. Banky 3.29. So that's a pretty good ERA on it for Banky. Like I said, besides the one, Banky did give up 3 hits though. So, he did what he had to do. He was 30 pitches, but like I said, I keep beating a dead horse here on this one. If there's a way, shape, or form that Causey can go tomorrow, I'm throwing him. My number 1 guy I go to on this team in any situation is Combs. My number 2 is Causey. That's the 2 guys I trust the most on this pitching staff. You wouldn't think so. But like Greg German mentioned on here, and I agree with him, they had to do the same thing against East Carolina last weekend, and they did it. See, I'm a little behind on the comments. I'm assuming I know what this. Okay, played short. I believe he's playing 2B. Their alignments are a little bit interesting for sure on this team. So, I don't know what it is with it. I just feel like there's been so many balls hit to short. I'm like, all right, end of inning, and here they go into the outfield. So I don't know if it's an analytical approach they use in the field or not. It's worked some. I think it's worked against them more than it's worked, though. We'll see. Ump changed strike zone the last inning or so. I thought he was inconsistent. Man, Denton would have been huge on this team. Feel like it's such a ridiculous decision. I get he was upset about not getting drafted, but what? Whatever, man. I mean, you got to change your. Not everything's a home run. I think there's too many guys on this team. It's home. They're out there trying for the home run too many times. Sometimes you just got to put the bat on the ball and put it in play. I mean, I did say with Stark, I said I would rather him strike out than hit into a double play. But again, my thing with I said it before he even come up. There's no way I'm letting him hit in that situation. Not the way his last two at bats had looked, and especially against that type of pitcher. Those types of pitchers make him look bad. It was a bad decision. Would it have been any different if they would have hit Berg? I don't know the answer to that, but I would have definitely taken my chances on somebody else in that situation. Moore was definitely swinging for a home run on that one. I definitely agree with that. Taylor Swift messed with Zane's head. See what else we got. Yeah, this is a good point, man. Lady Vols softball's had trouble winning the big game. Are the men right there with them? I mean, again, we can talk everything school all we want. At some point, you got to win some national titles in some of this, though, to be taken seriously. Yeah, man, glad to have you as part of the family as always. Always appreciated interacted with you and stuff on here. Glad to have you on here. Pure crap can suck it. Okay. Yep. Yep, Tony, you called it. I can't remember if it was, I think it was this morning about Beam. Beam's struggling right now. I kind of wondered that too, man. I think that's something not mentioned. Should have walked in his last at bat. Number one, he was what 1-0, and then swung at one. Wasn't even close. With that type of pitcher in that situation, I think you got to make him throw a strike. All right, thought it was a bad decision. Cal Stark got behind. Wouldn't even swing at a strike, and then he swings at garbage on it. Yeah, I think it was too. I hope you're right. I hope we're both right on that. I feel like Causey's going to be available too. I feel like if it comes down, we're going to see Causey tomorrow with an inning, a day of rest. Whether I may be wrong, but again, if I know I get something out of him tomorrow, I'm doing it. I'm going to have him ready to throw what he needs to. I would bet you money if you ask AJ Causey, can he go tomorrow? He's going to be ready. Let's see. Oh my gosh. We did beat Indiana last week, but man, what is it about playing these teams from Indiana? Purdue, can't beat Purdue in anything. Notre Dame 2 years ago, and then Evansville today. So, there's a lot of demons that need to get buried this weekend, because if not, the questions are going to be out about can Tony Vitello get it done or not, and especially if it comes around to Texas to come calling, which people are speculating if they make a change, they may come calling with him. I don't see why you leave for Texas. It amazes. There's Tennessee writers that say, well, yeah, they should worry about it. I mean, maybe they do have to worry about Texas, but saying what's one of the best jobs of college baseball? Why is Tennessee not one of the best right now? You can't tell me Danny White's not going to pony up the money. You can't tell me these donors are not going to pony up the money to keep Tony Vitello in Knoxville. They're making changes to a stadium that honestly probably should have been bulldozed and rebuilt. I say that, and I've never even been to a game there, surprisingly. But I know some of you that have been there can tell me more about it. But it looks to me like they're starting to make it into a pretty nice stadium. There's still a lot of work left to go on it. But based on all they're investing into baseball right now, if you're Tony Vitello, how much you're loved, why would you even think about leaving for Texas? Okay? Yeah, we can sit here and talk about LSU and Texas being the best jobs all we want to. But you know what? Tennessee at one point was one of the best jobs in college football too. And we've seen over the last 15 years the trouble they had in getting coaches for it. Things shift. You look at football programs like Tennessee, Nebraska, Miami, some of these teams that were the top teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, look where they're at now. Things shift. Look at where Georgia was at then and where Georgia's at now. Look at where Alabama was at then and where Alabama's at now. Things shift. Things shift. I'm tired of people downplaying where Tennessee baseball is at, especially people that write for this team. I'm sick and tired of seeing it downplayed that Tennessee's some second-tier baseball team when compared to these traditionally better teams. You want to look at that, go look at Pepperdine, Cal State, Fullerton, Long Beach State, Wichita State, some of these. Their histories are better than Tennessee's too. Does that mean that Tony Vitello should go running off to those jobs if they come calling? Give me a freaking break on it. Tony Vitello's built this into, they said today, this is the only team in the last 4 years who's been to Super Regional, each of the four. Their next step is winning it all. That's the next thing you have to do. Give me a freaking break when these bigger teams come calling and you got people that actually write for Tennessee saying, oh, yeah, it's the best job in college baseball. You can't blame him for leaving. Bullshit. Give me a break on it. Give me a break with that. I know it's a tangent. I'm in Tangentville right now, but pitcher for West Virginia threw 144 pitches last night. Woo! Interesting. I've got their box score right here on that, and I am not down. I got to see this one because I didn't realize it. $144 pitches. Amazing. Dude went 8 1/3 innings for them. 144 pitches for him. Holy crap. And then the guy who gave up the walk-off bomb threw 6 pitches for them. So West Virginia pitchers threw 150 pitches. Derek Clark threw 144. That is insane. That is insane. No, you're exactly right on that, David Polk. You are exactly right. That's what it says on it. I'm with Tim Dewberry on this one. All right. It's one of two things tomorrow. You're either, if they win tomorrow, they're going to go on and win it all. If they don't win it tomorrow, they obviously go to the house on it. I'm going to totally agree with you on that one. Douglas Graham, good to see you in here, man, as always. Douglas Graham for $5. Thanks, Frank, for covering baseball. You do a fantastic job. Go Big Orange. Always appreciate the support, man. Always appreciate your positive comments. Always appreciate that, man. Always good to see you in here as well. Yeah, 144 pitches for that West Virginia guy. How about that? That is insane. Let me see where we're at. I want to get back to that comment again, though. I know I'm getting close here. Thank you, guys. We're still 74 people in here. It's a good audience, man. Really appreciate you guys for always, coming in here, always bringing it. Appreciate you guys being in here this morning. Again, I will not be tailgating tomorrow. I will not. I'm a superstitious guy, I've told you. So I will not be tailgating tomorrow. There will be a post-game show for sure. And hopefully Tennessee does not break out the Smoky Grays again this year since they're 5-5 in them now. Here we go. Back to this one. I feel it is kind of going to be that one. You win tomorrow. You exercise a demon. You bury some bones. You go take care of business in Omaha. You don't. Oh, man. And especially when you consider what this team's going to lose after this season. They're going to lose a lot. It's going to be a long, long off season in Knoxville if this team does not get out tomorrow. You get to Omaha and don't win it. The question is going to be, how do you get over that hump? If you don't get out of tomorrow, man, it's going to be a lot of questions. A lot of questions tomorrow. Oh, I like this one. Richard Patton says, this is a big one to consider. Tennessee has not lost back-to-back games all year long. There you go. There you go. No reason to start. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say I thought we did, actually. Yep, somebody correct. Bama, they lost Saturday and Sunday. So, I think that's the only time, though. So, let's let that be the one time. Yep, absolutely. You got to expect Evansville's best tomorrow. That's a a veteran group. It's a prideful team. You got to expect they're going to bring it tomorrow. Every guy on that team, especially their offense. And hats off to their pitchers today. When you look at those ERAs, and that should be, an advantage for Tennessee. Their relievers really put that fire out, and that amped up their team where they were able to come back. We'll see what this team's made up of tomorrow. Pitching, if you're a pitcher, and this pitching, let's make no mistake about it, the pitching's been good this year. But, yeah, you're going to have to bring it tomorrow. I totally agree with this one, Jeanette. I was thinking the same thing. Would we have been better off to walk McInnes because there was an open base, or go after him? Tomorrow, in that situation, I don't pitch to him. I don't pitch to him. There's no way. I think it's a great point. He's killed Tennessee for 2 days on it. No, I looked at I wondered the same thing, Evan. I looked at the box score for it. I think I still got it pulled up. Let me share it with you guys here. Look at it. So this was from last night's game. Right here it is. West Virginia. You see right here, Derek Clark, 8 1/3, 7 innings, 7 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 8 Ks. Faced 32 batters, 35, 144 pitches. That is crazy to hear in today's society. Used to, it was nothing to hear that. In today's society, I mean, it's like they want to arrest coaches for it or something. I'll tell you, man, this is one of when you do these things. I remember it back to the other network I used to be on. You come on right after a game. Obviously, if your team wins, you're all happy about it. But when they lose a tough one, it is a tough one. It is tough to kind of manage your feelings because sometimes you can kind of sit back, and that's why I like doing the next day. A lot of did for basketball. Some you kind of got a look. I know after the Purdue game, and I did the next day, I had a little bit of time to kind of be a little more rational the next day on it. I was anything but immediately after that game. Let's see, Kevin, my brother in Chicago is a huge Tennessee fan, watching your show for the first time today. Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for getting it out there for me. That's the way this thing grows more than anything. Is you guys sharing it. That's what makes it grow more than anything, because it's with all honesty, if I'm not hitting on everything, granted, but if you guys are not supporting the content, if you don't like it, it's not going to grow. So thank you guys so much for that. A big grower of this channel's been Lady Vols basketball. Unfortunately, there's really not been much. Let's see. Keith, go Vols. We'll get it done tomorrow. Had to exercise my criticism on the first comment. Hey, I get it, man. Baseball's brought a lot of joy in the last few years. We wait for football. It has. I would say that especially 2021 baseball, when they got good, when you started seeing the birth of the villains, this baseball program brought together a very fractured fan base, a fan base that had, it's just freaking over it with football. Let's face the facts. That Jeremy, this is as close as I've ever gotten after all we endured with Tennessee football. That Jeremy Pruitt era almost did it for me. I said point blank, if I'm gonna give the clean version of this. I'll just say if Jeremy Pruitt would have been back for 2021, I was not watching. I was turning my card in until he was done. Would I've actually done it? That would have been a lot harder to do than it'd have been a lot easier said than done. But that Jeremy Pruitt era, I could not stand that guy from the moment they hired him. I never liked the hire. I never liked anything he did. His second year was all smoke and mirrors. It was all by accident. They didn't beat anybody of substance that year. They did beat Indiana. Funny enough, we've talked about with Indiana. They beat Indiana in football in that bowl game somehow. But Jeremy Pruitt tested my fandom. And then that, later that year, that baseball team mended a lot of fences that got burned throughout this athletic program. And I think that year too, Rick Barnes and the team crapped the bed in the first round of the tournament badly. And there was, I think, a lot of Vol fans were probably hurt feelings. This baseball team, though, if they don't get it done, there's going to be questions. But this baseball team has brought a lot of people back. And, if they don't get it done tomorrow, let's face the facts. Doubt's going to creep in a little bit. If they don't, I still have confidence that they will. But if they don't, it's going to bring a lot of questions. It's going to bring a lot of hurt feelings. A lot of people's going to wonder when we're ever going to get over this hump. But I still got confidence that they're going to get it done tomorrow. I think this team will step up and do it. But, it's valid comments. No, I don't think he is either. I've seen some, again, this was people who actually write for Tennessee saying, yeah, Tennessee fans should be worried if Texas comes calling. There's already been stuff saying that Danny White and Vitello are going to meet at some point. I've got to think they've talked extension already because I think Vitello's deal goes 2 more years. I don't see him leaving either. I just don't see it. Why would you at this point? Yeah, Evansville does have a lot to lose too. Absolutely. I mean, it's win or go home. So both teams are playing like it tomorrow. Guys need to play loose tomorrow. Come out and press. We're in a ball game. Trust your teammates. Just got to stay up. I think they got to stay engaged, stay up. There's no doubt about it. It's must win tomorrow. And it is for both teams. There is no doubt about it. It's the ultimate pressure game for both teams. Win or go home. Win and you go to Omaha. Lose and you're going home to watch. If you're Tennessee, I don't see how you can stomach going back home to watch another year like you did 2 years ago when you were the number 1 overall seed. I think more pressure's on Tennessee tomorrow. I'm going to be honest about it because Evansville is not expected to be here. Tennessee's, the favorite to win it all. So Evansville's a team that, again, they were a 4 seed in their regional, and they're not supposed to be here. Is it going to be pressure on everybody? Sure. But the national pressure is going to be on Tennessee to get it done. I'm going to wrap up on that one, guys. I appreciate you guys being with me. Hope we were coming in here on better circumstances tomorrow to talk about this team coming through. But so we'll be live tomorrow night. It'll be around 9:30 to 10 o'clock. The game tomorrow is at 6 o'clock. And then we will go from there. I'm not sure of the network time, if it's ESPN or ESPN2 tomorrow. But we'll have fun with it. I may put a next day out tomorrow to try to get a little logical, kind of break down what we got going for tomorrow because we'll know more about, I think, who Evansville is throwing tomorrow as well. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Again, thank you as always. We have a good crowd, good participation today. And, thank you guys for your generosity with your super chats. At the end, if you want to say thanks, there is that option for super thanks. Again, it does go back into the channel, goes to help build the channel and stuff as well. But my name's Frank Rock. This is the House Foreign Sports Channel. This Saturday wasn't so super, but let's hope tomorrow it is Super Sunday once again. Have a great rest of your day and go Vols.